Hi, I'm Mindy Eldridge with a Mindful Heart. In our previous video, we discussed what a heart first education is. Today, we're going to talk about implementing a heart first education, and I'm actually going to break this video up into three pieces. So, this first video that I'm going to discuss now is how to soften the heart. The second video will talk about diversifying learning, and the third will help youth and children discover their purpose. So, step one in implementing a heart first education is to soften hearts. Now, how can we soften hearts? There are many ways, but four of the main ways that we find in heart first education is through the use of stories, all kinds of stories. The second way to help soften hearts is through the use of arts. The third way is through relationships and building relationships, and the fourth way is through nature. Ali Einstein said, "Stories are powerful. Stories allow children to learn true and correct principles through the lives of others." So, like I said, it could be personal stories, family history stories, hero stories, fairy tales, fables, classics, scripture stories, you name it. If you can think about any speech or presentation you listen to, the stories are what grab us and really teach us and make a lasting impression upon us. On the website Reshelving Alexandria, it says, "Create a home where the heart can flourish by presenting your family with books that spark the imagination, stir the emotions, and inspire the heart. Invite the master storytellers and great illustrators to be participants in your home as the stories they share leave indelible impressions upon the heart which last a lifetime." So obviously, some stories are more powerful than others. So as we look to educate our children through story and to help soften their hearts and have their hearts become more open and receptive to what we are sharing, look for powerful stories that inspire and that are engaging and that touch the heart of the individual. All right, next is softening hearts through the use of arts. Now, when I say the arts, I'm meaning visual arts, dance, music, theater, anything in the realm of the arts. On the website artsfairfax.org, it says, "Arts help children connect with their environment, connecting more pieces of information than they would otherwise have done on their own with no arts exposure." If you think about it, the value of arts in the learning process, there's several areas where the arts really open and help soften the child's heart and connect to the child's heart and bring them in and really make them engaged in the process. The arts help us connect and process emotions. The arts inspire and enlighten us. The arts help to express feelings and ideas. And the arts are very open ended. There's not just one right answer. It's not a yes or no or a black and white answer. The arts add such depth to our experience and our learning. The arts also provide a natural path for academic learning. Although some may regard our education as a luxury, simple creative activities are some of the building blocks of child development. Learning to create and appreciate visual aesthetics may be more important than ever to the development of the next generation of children as they grow up. That was Grace Wang Lynch from PBS. Think about the areas of arts. For example, the visual arts. Visual arts help us and develop understanding of ratios, of visual spatial reasoning, of patterns, uh, and so much more. Music helps develop rhythm and rhyme, really reading and language, especially in singing, developing language and vocabulary. Theater also helps develop language in children and reading skills, memorization, and also interacting and communicating with others. Dance helps develop the physical body and also more of the visual spatial skills and also rhythm patterns and that type of thing. So when we think about the arts are not fluff. The arts are embedded with a depth of learning woven directly in, and they make the experience so much more real and engaging and applicable to children. All right, so the next way to soften hearts is through nature. Sometimes I wonder, does our intense focus on academic rigor encourage hearts that are past feeling? So I want to share something written by Chief Luther Standing Bear. Speaking of the Sioux Lakota tribe, he said the following. The Lakota was a true naturalist, a lover of nature. He loved the earth and all things of the earth. The attachment growing with age. The old people came literally to love the soil, and they sat or reclined on the ground with a feeling of being close to a mothering power. It was good for the skin to touch the earth, and the old people liked to remove their moccasins and walk with bare feet on the sacred earth. Their teepees were built upon the earth, and their altars were made of earth. The birds that flew in the air came to rest upon the earth, and it was the final abiding place of all things that lived and grew. The soil was soothing, strengthening, cleansing, and healing. That is why the Indian still sits upon the earth instead of propping himself up away from its life-giving forces. For him to sit or lie upon the ground is to be able to think more deeply and to feel more keenly. He can see more clearly into the mysteries of life and come closer in kinship to other lives about him. The old Lakota was wise. He knows that man's heart away from nature becomes hard. He knew that lack of respect for growing living things soon led to a lack of respect for humans too. So he kept his youth close to its softening influence. So once again, just to recap, the first way to implement a heart-first education in our homes, in our classrooms, is through softening hearts. And 4 key ways to soften hearts are by teaching through story, teaching through the arts, and teaching through nature, and teaching through building relationships. I hope you'll join me in our next video where we talk about the second way to implement a heart first education by diversifying learning.